Now, in continuation of my cut content and episode breakdown series, Season 3 Episode 12, which is titled Festival Preparations, will officially mark the end of the conflict involving the Tempest Federation and the Holy Empire Lubelius. And we are now moving on to the Tempest Founders Festival part of the story. And much like the title of the episode, you'll be focusing on showing the early festival preparations as well as Rimuru's own mission to brainstorm exciting activities for the upcoming event. Also, the episode will be adapted from Chapter 2 of the Volume 8 light novel, so I'll be going over the contents they removed along with providing a breakdown for the episode as well. As usual, a spoiler warning for anyone that hasn't watched the episode yet or might find the cut content information I mentioned to be spoilers. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel and share with your friends. To start, now that Rimuru and his monster nation had made peace with Hinata and the Holy Knights, the official date of the Founders Festival was finally decided, so everyone was busy preparing for the upcoming festival. However, the anime only shows the conversation Rimuru had with Gabiru and Vesta because in the light novel, Rimuru also mentions that he told Gal to take a vacation from work once the festival begins. And it was hilarious how Shion along with Valdora's projects were the only ones that made Rimuru worried. As for Shuna, the reason that she asked Rimuru to bring her to Ingracia wasn't explicitly mentioned in the anime. But it was revealed in the light novel that she plans on opening her own cafe in Tempest, so she wanted to recruit the pastry chef known as Yoshida Kaoru to help her. However, Rimuru informs her that Yoshida is stubborn and he has failed numerous times to convince the pastry chef to move, but this time it seems that he quickly folded after meeting Shuna because in the light novel, it was revealed that Yoshida is a complete pushover when it comes to pretty girls, and he also has a little crush on her. Moving on, Rimuru, wanting to do something for the upcoming festival as well after seeing how hardworking his subordinates were, decided to seek help from guard Meow Mouse. But actually before that, if we go by the sequence of events that occur in the light novel, there were supposed to be two scenes that should have happened prior to Rimuru's visit to the Bloomer Kingdom. And it mainly involves King Gazer having an emergency conference with his cabinet to discuss about the report they received from the Dwarven spies regarding the outcome of Rimuru's battle with Hinata, and another scene involving the Empress of the Sorceress Dynasty Saren talking to Aaron's father, Alok Grimwald, about participating in the Founders Festival. However, I'm guessing they plan on showing the two scenes in the next episode, so I'll refrain from going over them first. Anyways, back to the topic at hand. Right before Rimuru arrives at the trading house of the Bloomer Kingdom, Meow Mouse was meeting with a noble named Viscount Kazak, and in the light novel, Meow Mouse was looking down on the noble because he often came to swindle money from him with devious or outright terrible business proposals. But since Kazak was still a noble, Meow Mouse still had to show him respect and why he was behaving so courteous towards him while internally complaining about the Viscount in the anime. And regarding their conversation about opening a night establishment, the light novel actually gave a much more comprehensive look at how talented Meow Mouse was at doing business. Just from the idea alone, he was already going over the cost of opening such a shop internally. He knew the noble was an idiot for not understanding the long-term cost of buying slaves, because you not only have to provide them with food and clothing, but their living accommodation as well, even if you don't wish to pay them a salary. But besides that, you had to consider that no matter how beautiful the slave worker was, they will eventually age in the end, and even selling them as sex workers will hardly be sufficient to recover the initial investments used to buy sex workers. Not to mention the additional effort needed to prevent the spread of sexual diseases. Furthermore, when Kazak mentions that he has managed to procure elven slaves, Meow Mouse was stated to be utterly disgusted by the Viscount in the light novel because he knew the implications of being in possession of elven slaves, and countries like the armed nation of Dwargon, Sorceress Dynasty Sarian, and even Tempest would definitely respond harshly if they found out that demi-humans were being trafficked by humans. It was for this reason Meow Mouse was trying to think of an excuse to turn down Kazak in the anime without offending the Viscount, and that's when Rimuru entered the room. And the preceding interaction that happened in the anime involving Kazak being rude towards Rimuru does follow the light novel, and I like how Meow Mouse was trying to behave in a courteous manner towards Kazak before, but once he started talking down to Rimuru, Meow Mouse would immediately snap and kick the Viscount out. On a side note, some light novel readers might have noticed the painting in the background because it's actually a big foreshadowing for a future plot point involving Rimuru and Wisdom King Raphael. But I won't spoil it for you guys, so maybe try to find someone in the comments below to answer your question. Back to the conversation, it was stated in the light novel how Meow Mouse had rejected all other meetings because he wanted to prioritize Rimuru, and the reason was given as well. Essentially, Rimuru not only brought great fortunes to Meow Mouse whenever they do business together, but he also deeply respected Rimuru for saving his life and for the virtue that it possesses, because despite the circumstances that Tempest faced previously, Rimuru could still focus on the well-beings of his trade partners. Additionally, the anime seems to have left out the part where Rimuru warns Meow Mouse in the light novel about offending a noble like Kazak, and that he secretly planned on assigning a bodyguard to protect Meow Mouse, which I'll go over later in the video. That said, Rimuru was apparently checking out on Mouse about their various business ventures together, such as the fast food restaurant they plan to open to sell other world food items like hamburgers and fries. So Rimuru informs Mouse that the first location will be open in Tempest, before expanding it further like they discussed in the anime. And much of their discussion on this topic will follow the light novel, even the part where Rimuru asks for Mouse to provide trained workers that can help in the takoyaki booth that Valdra plans to open during the festival. And even though Mouse was worried about the safety of the workers, he still chooses to believe in Rimuru, so he agrees to the proposal. Now to continue, they then proceeded to discuss about the Founders Festival itself, and they are trying to think of new entertainment options they can provide in Tempest to attract more visitors, but most of the things we see in the episode will play out the exact same as the light novel, with Rimuru ultimately deciding to build a coliseum along with a theatre that was suggested by Mouse. However, there was a brief dialogue removed from the light novel where Mouse asked Rimuru to have his subordinates fight in the Colosseum to determine who the strongest fighter was, and he immediately warns Mouse to never speak of this subject in front of them, because not long ago Arnold apparently asked the same question and nearly caused a civil war between Rimuru's subordinates, which would have been quite funny to see animated in the episode. Regardless, they continued to discuss about the Colosseum plan, so Rimuru wanted Mouse to help organize a martial tournament, and the reaction of Mouse towards the proposal along with the conversation that happened right after will occur in a similar fashion to the light novel. And I have to say, the anime really did well to convey Rimuru's plans for the Colosseum and explain how to generate revenue from it without making the exposition feel heavy or boring, and seeing how enthusiastic they both were about the upcoming festival just makes the viewers excited for it as well. Having said that, after agreeing to help Rimuru with the preparations for the martial tournament, Mouse was asked to join Tempest, and in the light novel, he was described to be overwhelmed by emotion and happiness when he heard Rimuru's offer, so immediately accepted. Additionally, this wasn't mentioned in the anime, but Rimuru wanted to hire Mouse because now that their nation has grown larger, Shuna can no longer handle the national finance of Tempest by herself, so it was better to have someone like Mouse to become the Minister of Finance since Rimuru trusted him, and he has numerous connections to merchants as well that can help promote Tempest even further. Another reason is that Shuna was quite strict when it came to Rimuru's own allowance, but with Mouse, he would be free to embezzle the funds of the nation without being scolded by Shuna. Having finished their meeting, Rimuru left, and the anime actually removed a sequence from the light novel involving Mouse informing his subordinates about his decision to permanently move to Tempest, and the preparations he made like deciding on who to bring and who should stay to manage his operations in the Blooming Kingdom. In addition to that, another sequence showing Rimuru's perspective after he left was not included as well, so to explain, he was quite excited about the martial tournament, so he wanted to start on the construction of the Colosseum quickly, but because Gal and Mudo were busy, he decided to give the project to a hobgoblin named Gokyu, one of Mudo's apprentices. Rimuru then had Wisdom King Raphael draw up the plans by analyzing his memories on the Roman Colosseum, and once it was done, he asked Ranga to help deliver the plans back to Tempest because he still wanted to visit Fields before leaving. He also informed Ranga to ask Rigger to send a person from their security division because he wanted to assign a person to protect Mouse, fearing that Viscount Kazak might take action against him. And there was a hilarious interaction in the light novel where Ranga volunteered to take a bite at Kazak, but he was quickly reprimanded by Rimuru, who suspected that the best doggo did something similar during the Farmer Kingdom's civil war. With that being said, Rimuru arrived at the Freedom Association branch in Blumen, and he actually had a brief exchange with the receptionist in the light novel, which reveals that Rimuru was now a rank B+ adventurer after he completed the test. Nonetheless, Rimuru proceeded to meet the guildmaster, and it was hilarious seeing the outright depressed and tired look of Fields because having a Demolord casually walking around a human city was indeed stressful. Fields then apologized for failing to stop the Western Holy Church in the anime, so Rimuru told him the outcome of the conflict with the Holy Knights. But in the light novel, Rimuru saw how worried Fields was, so he apparently told him everything starting from the Walpurgis banquet up to their recent meeting with the Holy Knights, although he intentionally leaves out the part about Luminous being the goddess of luminism. It was after Rimuru finished recounting the past events that he decided to leave like we see in the anime, and he provided Fields with invitations to the Founders Festival, wanting him to help deliver it to the Bloomin' King. Furthermore, when Fields mentions Yuki being worried about the conflict with the Holy Knights, Rimuru decides to personally write another invitation letter and ask Fields to deliver it as well. And Rimuru is just plain evil because right as he was about to leave, he informs Fields that Million will be attending the festival as well to stress him out even more, but it was definitely funny. However, when Rimuru leaves the Freedom Association branch, there was a sequence in the light novel that was slightly removed from the anime involving the hobgoblin known as Gobemon jumping out of Rimuru's shadow to greet him. And to explain, he was sent by Rigger after hearing about Rimuru's request from Ranga. So to give a brief character backstory, he's a very talented fighter that competed against Gokta in the past for the position of captain in the Goblin Riders, but he was arrogant and often looked down on his subordinates and fellow companions, so the position was given to Gokta instead, which caused Gobemon to transfer to another division agent because he refuses to serve him. And wanting to help Gobemon overcome this personality trait, Rimuru not only ordered him to protect Meowmouse from the shadows, he wanted Gobemon to learn how to gain the trust of others and interacting with people from Meowmouse as well, even offering his own katana as a reward to Gobemon if he succeeds in the mission. Anyways, before I end the video, I wanted to mention how good looking the episode was as compared to the previous ones, because Rimuru's movements and the animation quality overall seems to have been improved by a lot. They probably had the same team that worked on Tensura and Nikki for this second part given how similar they feel. Maybe they saved the budget just for the Founders Festival arc. Not to mention the opening sequence as well, which actually feels so unique and different from the usual Tensura opening songs, and the way they utilize the different sequences to foreshadow what we can expect from the second part of Season 3 somehow made me excited for the festival, and I was completely immersed by how beautiful it looked. The ending sequence was also super interesting and the art style itself was quite unique. I really like how they basically depicted the Tensura world in a modernized setting, showing us the various aspects of life through the daily routine of Shuna. But fair warning for everyone, the second part of Season 3 will be focusing on country building and a lot of slice of life elements, so if you guys were expecting action, I think you should probably stop watching the anime.
さて、あとは開催日に間に合うように準備を整えるだけだな。
But yeah, that's my breakdown for episode 12, and this is by far my favorite episode so far because everything just looks so good, and surprisingly they paced the various meetings and character interactions for the episode insanely well. It feels less monotonous as the previous meetings and more compelling to watch as well, and they seem to be trying to make Rimuru even cuter than before, but maybe that's just me. What about you guys? Did you enjoy the newest episode? And did you also notice the improved animation quality along with how cute Rimuru has become? Feel free to share your opinions and comments down below. Also, if you enjoyed this cut content video, remember to leave a like, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification button for more cut content videos as well. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay safe everyone.